1849, The California Gold Rush. Written by Cynthia Kennedy Hensel. Focus question. What was the effect of the gold rush on westward expansion? Gold. It is January 1848. A man looks over the new mill his crew is building. In the mill's water, he spots something shiny. He collects several pieces and shows his crew. They test the pieces. It's gold. The man shows John Sutter, who owns the mill. Sutter doesn't want anyone else to know. They agree to keep the secret. Gold has been discovered in California. Keeping a secret. In 1848, the world was very different from today. There were no phones, TVs, or radios. There were no roads or railroads connecting California with the states back east. It took months to get a message from one coast to the other. Still, the secret got out when a man named Sam Brannan heard the news. He wasn't interested in mining. Instead, he bought all the shovels in San Francisco. He filled a bottle with gold dust. He ran through the streets, yelling about the great discovery. Then he sold his shovels for a lot of money. Panning. Unlike in most places, the gold in California was not locked deep under the ground. Erosion had long ago washed the metal down the mountains into the rivers. All people needed to mine it was a shovel and a flat pan. The prospectors stood in the rivers and shoveled gravel into their pans. They removed large rocks, then carefully swirled the pan. Gold is much heavier than gravel. The dirt and gravel spilled over the sides with the water. The shiny flakes of gold stayed at the bottom of the pan. Word-wise. A prospector is someone who moves to a spot with the prospect or possibility of finding gold. People from along the west coast soon showed up to work the rivers near Sutter's Mill. Next came prospectors from South America and Asia. At that time, it was easier to get to California from China than from the East Coast. Equal opportunity? As the hills filled with prospectors, white miners began to oppose other groups hunting for gold, especially the Chinese. California taxed miners from other countries $20 a month to prospect. White prospectors sometimes forced them from the mines. For Native Americans, the gold rush was awful. It opened the gateways to the West, forcing huge numbers from their homes. In California, about 120,000 Native Americans died of illness, starvation, or murder during the gold rush. The 49ers. It took longer for people in the eastern states to hear about the gold. They didn't start coming west until 1849. That year, 90,000 people joined the gold rush. These were the 49ers. 9 out of 10 of them were men. Many couldn't cook, wash a shirt, or build a shelter. Many left behind families. They planned to quickly make a fortune and come home. Around the tip. About half of the 49ers went by ship. The tickets were expensive. The ships were crowded, the trip was boring, and many got sick. Ships took from 5 to 8 months to make the journey. Some decided to save time by cutting through the Panama jungle. These 49ers faced deadly snakes and bugs. Many fell ill. If they made it across, they might wait weeks or months to catch a ship on the other side. Wagons ho! It took about the same amount of time to get to California by wagon. Across the flat prairie, a wagon could go about 15 miles, 24 kilometers, on a good day. Once they reached the mountains, the 49ers had to get the wagons up them, across rivers, and down steep cliffs. They crossed deserts. Some also faced blizzards. For many, their greatest fear was fights with Native Americans, but death came from sickness, starvation, and accidents. As they drove their wagons the 2,100 miles, 3,380 kilometers, to California, thousands of 49ers died. By the fall of 1849, the trail was lined with dead oxen and graves. The losers, the winners. For those who made it to California, life did not get easier. The prospectors lived in mining camps, made of tents and rough shelters. They ate poorly. They worked 12 hours a day, digging gravel or breaking rocks with picks. Many fell ill, but they kept working. By one report, 1 in every 5 miners who came to California in 1849 was dead within 6 months. Prices gone wild. 49ers could get what they wanted if they could pay for it. Here's what some items sold for in 1849 San Francisco. The last column shows what those prices would look like in 2016. 1849, 2016. 1 can of peas, $6 equals $181. 1 plate of biscuits, $10 equals $301. 1 egg, $1 equals $26. 1 breakfast, $43 equals $1,294. 1 pound, 0.45 kilograms of coffee, $3 equals $103. 1 mule, $360 equals $10,835. 1 pair of boots, $96 equals $2,890. Some early prospectors were successful. However, more people made their fortune by selling to the miners. Sam Brannan became one of the first millionaires in America. Levi Strauss made his fortune selling pants tough enough to handle the work. Blue jeans. Many women started businesses that served the prospectors. The biggest winner was the United States. The gold rush brought about 300,000 people to California in just a few years. In 1850, California became a state. By 1863, the country began building the railroad that would link East and West. Today, California has more people than any of the other 49 states. It has a huge economy, and it still lives up to its nickname, the Golden State. Connections. Writing. Write a paragraph explaining what the author wants readers to learn from the Prices Gone Wild chart on page 13. Social studies. Create a timeline of the California Gold Rush. Include at least 5 events.